All right, going to the next round. Didn't we have this exact same hand our last opener? Pretty sure this is just a snap maul. Okay, this is a little better. Get to bottom, get some scry value. Okay, Blooming Marsh, probably playing against Living End or a green-black deck. Green-black is really tough, I've actually found, just because I actually am short on, like, Fatal Push, Terminate kind of cards. So Tarmogoyf is really problematic, and Liliana is also really problematic. But sometimes you just have Death Shadow they can't kill. And, well, that's kind of how most matchups work. You have lots of discard and counter magic, so... Think about a Thoughtseize on turn 1. This is kind of interesting because normally the green-black decks don't have that many cards that cost 4 or more. And I don't even have Death Shadow. I was going to say, if I draw Death Shadow, I'd much rather have Thoughtseize. Not to mention that if he might make me discard a card. Say I drew like a land or whatever. If he discards a card from my hand, I'd much rather have already lost the 2 life off Thoughtseize than have Inquisitioned him, so... Hopefully we can just strip... Oh, he's got 2 Lilianas. Oh, man. So I think what I'm supposed to do is just take both Lilianas and let him have this Goyf. And hopefully that he doesn't draw a removal spell for my Death Shadow. And I can just... His Goyf is going to be kind of bricked by my Death Shadow because if he attacks me, it's going to get too big. Honestly, it looks like because of the Quagmire, we know that he's playing straight green-black. And I feel as if... it's pretty likely he's just going to play the Goyf, because he might rip a land to play the Liliana. Yeah, he's just going to play the Goyf. I think that makes sense. Because I can also make him discard out of his hand. Oh, that hurts. God. I don't know why it only shows me 1 Liliana. We know he has a Liliana in his hand. Man, the flood has been real these few matches we've had. Oh, I just played a land he didn't know about on accident. Well, it's fine. Whatever. Not in love with my chances this game. But hopefully we can, if we draw Fatal Push, if we draw Thoughtseize, if we draw Snapcaster, would actually be pretty nice. Oy. He's kind of just drawn perfect cards every turn, which is pretty unfortunate, but he's got a lot of good draws in his deck, so I can only complain so much. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to go Hellbent. I was going to say I could hold these lands, but I really want to get a red source anyway. Hopefully I can dismember this Goyf. He's got a Planeswalker Sorcery Instant Creature land. I can't even dismember it. That's what actually happens a lot in this matchup. So I can't be too upset over that. But I'm just super dead, I think. I mean, I can maybe... I need to start drawing, like, Snapcaster Mages, Fatal Pushes, stuff like that. He's going to be able to play the Quagmire if he wants to, which is actually, like, a really... Quagmire is really good in this matchup, I think. Because it just blocks Death Shadow. And I also go really low, so it's not irrelevant. I'm actually not going to fetch because I don't necessarily want to take that much damage if I can avoid it. Need a Fatal Push, though. I guess if I draw a Delve creature, I can actually kill this with Dismember, but I didn't. So I think that's actually probably just game. Alright, so we're down a game. Okay, let's go ahead and fix our deck. So I think we definitely want Liliana. And that's probably it. My list is actually a little bit worse than most lists in these matchups because I don't have the 4th Fatal Push and I don't have the Terminate. So I think what I do is I like cutting a discard spell because you get into those top deck wars like you saw last game where both players just obliterate each other's hands, and then drawing Thoughtseize or whatever isn't great. So I'm going to hedge and leave 1 Temur Battle Rage and 1 Inquisition in. Because I think that it's important, especially against green black, he's going to have 4 Lilianas. It's pretty important for me to just keep hitting, like early on to have a discard spell so I can kind of navigate the game, see what he's working with. I'm going to board out a Stubborn Denial. Like since he's straight green black, he probably also has Abrupt Decay, which makes Stubborn Denial a lot worse. And this is kind of similar to Thoughtseize or Inquisition, where I don't want to necessarily draw it in the late game. You know, because I feel like, yeah, maybe I can tag a Liliana with it, but if I'm getting beat down by a Tarmogoyf, it's definitely far from ideal. I'm just actually going to cycle the Street Wraith because I might draw a Thoughtseize, which is going to be much better than Inquisition because it let me turn 2 Death Shadow. So let's go ahead and fire off the Inquisition. See what we're working with here. Okay, he's got an Abrupt Decay, a Dark Confidant, and a Goyf. So I think I'm supposed to take the Abrupt Decay because I have the Death Shadow next turn. It's kind of risky. If he draws a Thoughtseize, it's kind of risky not taking the Dark Confidant. But I do have a Fatal Push. I kind of have to hope he just doesn't draw a Thoughtseize this turn. I could also play really defensively and take the Tarmogoyf. The problem with taking the Tarmogoyf, this is actually like a good hand to screenshot. Oh god. I'm working on a 30 Thoughtseizes. Oop, there's my humble brags. I'm working on a 30 Thoughtseize for 30 matchups in Modern article. Ooh. There's a bunch of copies of my passport. I'm pretty sure that I'm supposed to take the Abrupt Decay. So let's say we take the Abrupt Decay. He probably has like 4 Fatal Pushes in his deck and Lilianas. Sorry for that bombardment of documents on my computer. Obviously, like, the Dark Confidant is the biggest threat in his hand by a lot. And I feel as if, you know, he has, like, maybe, like, a 10% chance of drawing a Thoughtseize or Inquisition and just winning the game off of it. But I do have the push. I can't ignore the Goyf because I have Death Shadow, so I think I'm going to take the Abrupt Decay. Which, a lot of the times, I like to be conservative, but I feel like he's got so many good draws in this matchup, and that I really want to be able to play my Death Shadow next turn, that it makes sense to take the Abrupt Decay. The Mishra's Bauble does give him a redraw, but it doesn't give him a redraw right away. So if he draws a Thoughtseize, he has to, like, play it now. Oh, I'm going to fetch first. I guess I need to get a black-red land, which is kind of annoying. And also, I have the Thought Scour for redrawing. Obviously, if I draw a Snapcaster Mage, I'm not that afraid of a Fatal Push, which makes it a little better. I kind of want, as much as I want a Steam Vents, I do have 3 Lilianas in my deck. So I think that this is right. Cycle the Street Wraith. Draw a Lightning Bolt, which is actually some insurance against... Which is actually some insurance against the Dark Confidant. So he's had 3 draws. He's pretty likely to have hit a push. But in my few draws, I'm also likely to draw more outs to Dark Confidant. And if he just doesn't have an answer to the Death Shadow, I'm going to just crush him, I think. Okay. So I actually think I want to bolt that. So I'm going to just Thought Scour myself here. Okay, got a Stubborn Denial in our graveyard. Drew a basic. It's kind of annoying that, like, we might lose this game because we just drew multiple basics. As much as I want to bolt myself, I think we're just gonna bolt the Dark Confidant. If he's got a Liliana, I can flash in Snapcaster, which is not ideal. Really frustrating that we drew 2 fetch land. This is, or drew two both of our basics. Any fetch or any shock would put us in much better shape, obviously. Very bizarre. Hoping he hasn't drawn a Liliana. Because then we have to spew our Snapcaster. Looks like he has a Goyf. So we actually know he's got a basic swamp, which is nice. So we're doing alright here, though. He's got a lot of cards in hand, but how he's played this out has made me think that... Look, if he lets me untap, he definitely doesn't have a Fatal Push. Oh, he's thinking upkeep? Yeah, I just opt. If he Fatal Pushes this, it's really not the end of the world anyway. Another Fatal Push? I think I'm gonna bottom that. I'd rather draw a threat. Ooh, Kolaghan's Command is super good. So now I can return the Death Shadow if you can kill it. I have Snapcaster Bolt, and I have Snapcaster Fatal Push available. Since we know he has a Fatal Push, it's almost worth Snapcaster bolting myself, but I'm just gonna wait. He might have a Fatal Push, and he's just like playing around Stubborn Denial as much as possible. I actually don't mind him having a Fatal Push here because I don't have a great target for my Kolaghan's Command. I could have returned the Street Wraith, but I really don't want to tap my mana. And I might want to Kolaghan's Command something here. Like if he plays a Dark Confidant, it's ideal for me. Okay. Liliana. This is kind of what I was worried about, but I'm pretty sure I just let this resolve. And then I just return the Death Shadow to my hand and kill the Liliana. It's a 1-for-1. I'm only getting a 1-for-1 out of this. Actually, I guess I could... I just really wish I had another blue source. I said I guess I could try to kill this with Snapcaster. But I kind of like saving the Snapcaster because I have the Kolaghan's Command. If I draw any land, that's pretty insane value in a game that's going to go really long. Not to mention, I want to keep the Snapcaster Mage for a Fatal Push in case he plays a huge Goyf. I guess I didn't realize I already had a Death Shadow in the graveyard, but I think this is still definitely a reasonable line. Land isn't even really that bad. Especially a fetch land, which is long overdue. Like, if I had a fetch land already, my opponent would be at what? He'd be at 7? The double basic is just brutal. So we know he's got Swamp and 2 unknown cards. I feel okay about my spot. I feel okay. I've got a huge Death Shadow he can't really deal with. I've got Stubborn Denial backup, so he needs an Abrupt Decay if he wants to kill the Death Shadow. A big Goyf isn't really a problem. Okay, so that's the last card we know. Drew a Bauble. Another Liliana? A Maelstrom Pulse. So I'm pretty sure I just snap Stubborn Denial here. To fetch first so that it has Ferocious. Guess I get a Steam Vents. I can't imagine him having like I mean, he's a straight green black. He might actually have Field of Ruin in his deck, so I guess we want a second source. This feels pretty bad because I've got the Kolaghan's Command, but the Kolaghan's Command doesn't have great targets. We know he's probably got a bad card in his hand to start, and he very clearly just drew the Bauble, right? So I imagine that the card left in his hand is a brick of some sort. A Goyf, maybe? Okay. Well, that's not a brick, which is kind of unfortunate. I was actually going to say it might be a threat. So if we draw any fetch land, I'm still good to attack. So I might die to a removal spell if I draw a fetch land, but let's see what we can hit here. We just want to kill this stupid thing. Another Death Shadow is interesting. I think I keep that. Just because he's drawing 2 cards. If he does a removal spell from my Death Shadow, I'm not in great shape. Here, he can't even really... The Tarmogoyf is interesting because he can't even that profitably attack, because I can just go to 1 and have 2 12/12s or whatever. If he's got another Pulse, I'm obviously dead, but don't think that's something... Oh, it's Abrupt Decay. I swear that was a Pulse. It looked like a Pulse. Okay, well, he can't attack me. Or he's dead. So hopefully we draw something good. So maybe I just punted. Oh. I think I should cast it. Maybe I punted by not going Snap Kolaghan's Command. I think I did. Because he plays a Goyf. I go Snapcaster. Kolaghan's... Oh, I guess I probably would Snap Fatal Push this. I think I cast it. Because if he draws anything, he can just attack me to 1. This is going up. Oh, this really sucks. So what happens if I don't cast it? Plus is that. This is dying next turn. I get 1 less turn, potentially, to block the Goyf. Still can't really attack with his Goyf. The thing about Thought Seizing is it just puts me in 1 hit with the Tarmogoyf, which is bad. I think I just have to hope I draw something next turn. Because, like, if he draws anything, I'm dead anyway. And I need a good draw. So, I think this is reasonable. Also, he's going to plus with Liliana. So now, I think this puts, like, Battle Rage on the table, maybe? Which I have 1 of. Oh, we drew a land. Okay. So now we just gotta draw a creature or a removal spell. Or Liliana of our own would be insane. Oh. I guess maybe he won't Edict me. But I can't imagine me just pass. I guess if I draw a Fatal Push, I might punish him. Okay. So he didn't Edict me. I think that's actually a smart play by him, because if I draw Fatal Push, then we're just on an even board. So I got 1 more free turn there, which is nice. But now that Liliana's on 1, like, he's definitely going to run it this turn. He says I'm an idiot. Oh, I guess... Never mind, he is an idiot. No, not to be, but like I'm agreeing with him, because if I drew a push, I would have just pushed the Tarmogoyf and attacked his Liliana. So, redraw? Even a Street Wraith is good. Like, just a card to block, card to eat that up. So that was pretty insane. Unfortunately, I don't have enough. I don't have enough to get a Snapcaster back. So I guess he did punt. So now I definitely attack the Liliana. Question is, what do I get back? Death Shadow or Snapcaster Mage? It's weird because I can like Liliana plus on the Tarmogoyf. Oh, he's gonna block? So now he's playing super conservatively. I think I just get my other Death Shadow. I guess it doesn't really matter because he's going to Edict me anyway. So maybe I just get the Snapcaster Mage back and let him kill my Death Shadow. Does it really matter? This is actually, why is this so confusing? I should just, it's just a solved puzzle, right? If I get back the Snapcaster, next turn I can Snapcaster, Kolaghan's Command, to kill the Liliana, and also make him discard a card. Or if he draws like a Goyf or something, I can Fatal Push it. He'll still have the Liliana though. Or I can minus the Liliana and get back Death Shadow. So getting back the Death Shadow now, I think is slightly better if he draws like a Tarmogoyf. Or Dark Confidant. If he draws nothing, then the Snapcaster Mage is probably better, right? Because it just gives me the flexibility of killing the Liliana without having to attack it. Because he could draw like a Fatal Push or something, which leaves his Liliana alive for one more turn. So I think I do get the Snap. Like, let's just think about this. If I get Death Shadow, I play it. He draws like an Abrupt Decay or a Fatal Push. He kills both my guys. His Liliana's ticking up. It's going to be 2 turns before my Liliana gets to a point where I can get back Snapcaster Mage to kill Liliana. If I get Snapcaster Mage, I don't even really get punished if he draws like a Fatal Push or like a Thoughtseize or something. Because I can just always run out this. If he draws like a Thoughtseize, I can run it out in response and then just kill his Liliana anyway. So let's just get back the Snapcaster. I think it's probably right. Note if we lost any lands, because lands are actually interesting. Right now, land is like a good draw because I can Snapcaster, Kolaghan's Command, and get Death Shadow back. This might be really loose, though. I mean, if he draws a creature, though, I just Snap, Fatal Push it. Also activate my Liliana. Like, every time my Liliana goes by is good. Even drawing a land here is reasonable. So on his upkeep, Snapcaster. It's kind of weird, but I think that this played around more stuff. Like, now it seems really hard for him to get out of this, unless he draws like a... I don't really know what he can draw. Like multiple Tarmogoyfs in a row or something. I really hate casting this card on Magic Online. I actually like punted the game by choosing the wrong modes on accident. So we kill a Liliana, we have a Death Shadow. Even a Tarmogoyf I've got a Death Shadow for. I'm pretty sure he drew a land. He might have drawn a discard spell, actually. Because he knew I had a Snapcaster and it wouldn't be good. So we're kind of hanging on here. Okay, Duress that misses. Duress seems very suspect Magic card in this matchup. We're not even really that afraid of a Damnation or anything because we have Liliana. So it'd have to be like he drew a Damnation and then like rips an Abrupt Decay to kill this or something. He's thinking of my upkeep, so I feel like he's either got a Fatal Push or an Abrupt Decay. Probably an Abrupt Decay. He knows I have a Death Shadow. That makes sense. He drew an Abrupt Decay 2 turns ago. Funny that I can actually potentially kill my own Snapcaster Mage so I can get it back, but I'm not going to do that. Only card I need to play around now is Damnation, I'm pretty sure. Have him, like, pretty dead. Just get rid of all the bad cards. I guess Street Race are pretty bad. I think Bolt is probably fine. Though, definitely a card he might end up giving me back. I want to leave Fatal Pushes in the yard so that I can snap Fatal Push something. He's got to be dead. I mean, I think he's got an Abrupt Decay, though. So we'll see. If he's got a Damnation in his deck, he'll kill a Liliana. Might as well just draw a card first, I suppose. Did I exile Stubborn Denial at some point in this game? Yeah, I did. I was going to say, I thought I had a Stubborn Denial in my graveyard. I guess not. Liliana, maybe? Liliana's really bad. Tracker, sure. Oh, I see. He's been sandbagging a land. I'm pretty sure that's good for him, but I think it just doesn't matter. Because he has to start chumping. I suppose he could maybe... maybe I should have cycled this Street Wraith. Yeah, I should have cycled the Street Wraith. Okay, there's Battle Rage. Actually, maybe not, because now he can Inquisition me. But then he's not sacking a clue, so... Okay. Well, we got gifted one there, but it happens. Obviously, that's like not normally the situation where it happens, or your opponent obviously has what he needs. So on the draw, I think I like Inquisition more than Stubborn Denial. I want to get those like trackers, the Lilianas, out of his hands, and the Stubborn Denial, like, they get to obliterate my hand, know that I have it. It's not a great top deck. The fact that both of us have Lilianas in our deck makes me not hate Inquisition as much, because not only do I want to take his Liliana, but I can let it be discarded to a Liliana at some point. So this seems reasonable to me. Alright, let's go for last game. See what we can do here. That Goyf being his last card, I think we kind of misplayed to let him be in that position. Well, he's on 5, which is... In Modern, it like doesn't matter that much, but 5 cards when I have like so much just preventative action is going to be pretty nice. I imagine that just going into this game, even if he's got a perfect 5-card hand, it's going to be pretty hard for him to win. Just on the sheer strength of me being up 3 cards and having answers. Like, I have 2 answers and a Thoughtseize. Start with a Thoughtseize. Ooze or Confidant? Let's just take the... I'm going to take the Confidant. I was going to say, like, he might not run out the Confidant. I want to just get it out of the way right away, but... this way I can just go Fatal Push and also play my Death Shadow next turn. He did draw an Inquisition, so I'm kind of glad I took the Dark Confidant. He might be able to cheese me out. Unfortunate that he drew that, but I can't really complain. He's on 5 cards. Like, there's not that much I need to fight through right now. I'm actually just going to fetch Shock, because just thinning my deck before I opt is kind of nice. I guess I had to fetch shock anyway to play with that shadow, so I don't really know what I was thinking about. I guess I could have opted first to kind of maybe draw into like a Tassiger or something to play it, but I only have one Tassiger in my deck, and I couldn't play an Angler off the opt, so I think this is the right play, because I might scry differently based on what my opponent does. Like, my opponent might have drawn a Liliana, and then my scry is going to become much different. Okay, so we no longer know what's in his hand. I think I'm going to opt as opposed to Fatal Push, because I might draw like a Kolaghan's Command, which I'd much rather use to kill this, because there's no... Oh, I guess there is a creature in the graveyard. He might end of turn eat his Dark Confidant. Interesting, another push. I actually think I'm going to top this, even though I want threat velocity. I'm very worried about him just playing a huge Tarmogoyf or Dark Confidant and being able to win the game, so... Inquisition, I guess I fire it off. If he's got a land, I'm happy anyway. Hoping that it's a spell, like an Abrupt Decay or something. Though I think he probably would have decayed over Ooze. Oh, it's a Fatal Push? No. Oh, it's not Ooze. Okay. It's pretty good. It lets me save my... I'm just gonna kill this before he untaps. I don't want him to start exiling my goodies. So he's Hellbent to my Death Shadow plus Fatal Push. So as long as he doesn't draw exactly Liliana this turn, we're in really good shape. Though he's almost certainly playing 4, so like we're not dead if he draws one also. I mean, I still have a push, but it might be problematic. But if anything else that he can draw, I guess like an Inquisition could be okay, but looks like he didn't draw Liliana, so we're in pretty good shape. This is essentially a random card anyway. But I could, if I draw Snapcaster, the mill is worth it. Like, basically in this point, if I mill like a Kolaghan's Command or something, it's really nice because it makes my any subsequent Snapcaster better. And I have enough lands where I think it's right. The only way that could be wrong is that if the next card's Liliana, I couldn't actually play it off the 1 mana, but like I've said many times, like if I draw Liliana, I'm really happy anyway, so I think because of that, I just Thought Scour myself. Okay, Quagmire's not terrible. Unfortunately, out of fetch shock lands, which is something that happens why I want to play a 3rd Watery Grave. Like, I don't even have a fetchable land here. I think... Do I dome myself for 1 just to put him to 2? I actually don't think I do that. He's very, very likely to just try to block with the Quagmire next turn. Don't have a land to get with this. Though putting him at 2 does make it so Kolaghan's Command or Snapcaster kills him. Like, pretty much for the rest of the game. But he could draw game life off of a Scavenging Ooze. And there might, like I might or he might draw Liliana, and I might need to discard this at some point to protect the Fatal Push. Which is why we keep the Bloodstained Mire instead of just putting him to 2. And it's this, like I said before, like if I draw a Snapcaster, it's just a great draw. So I think I'll likely beat him anyway if I draw a Snapcaster at any point. So him being at 3 versus 2 is like the same. Okay, I've got no lands left in my deck. This doesn't usually happen this way, but, I mean, it does happen sometimes, I suppose. Where you just flood out grossly, because you do thin your deck pretty well. Okay, so it's a Quagmire. Unless he's got a Fatal Push, we win. Fatal Push, the game continues, and we win. Nice. Alright, we got a little lucky that our opponent kind of flubbed up, but at the same time, I think we kind of I don't know. I'd have to watch the film, but I think I might have punted to let him be in that position. So I'll